Okay, guys, have you ever seen a water test before?
No.
Okay, great, guys. It's very educational. I'm going to try to make it as entertaining as I possibly can. Now, the first test that I'm going to do for you is called the hardness test. Okay, hardness is dissolved calcium and magnesium carbonates measured in grains per gallon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this hardness tube right here, and I'm going to fill it up to 1 GPG. Now, GPG again stands for grain per gallon, and we're going to fill it up with our tap water. And we want to rinse it out. We're just going to make sure I don't have anything left over from the last test in the last home that I was at. And I want to get it pretty accurate. Does that look pretty straight?
Yes.
All right. Then we're going to add some chemicals. Now, the first chemical that I'm going to add is Agent 5. Okay, now this is a hardness buffer. What this is going to do is it's going to shock the water. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Then the next chemical that I'm going to add is Agent 6. Now, Agent 6 is a dye. It's going to dye the water. It's going to indicate whether we have any hardness or not. If I drop this in there and it turns red, means that you have some hardness, you have some calcium in the water. If it turns blue, that means you have soft or you have treated water. Okay, so we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shake it up, turns a nice red color. So that means that we do have some hardness, we do have some sediment in the water. Now, the last chemical that I'm going to add is Agent 7. Okay, this is a chemical softener. It's going to tell us how hard the water is. Each drop of Agent 7 represents 1 grain of hardness. Okay, now the goal is to turn the water from a red to a blue color. Okay, so we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're at 9 drops. Okay, so you're at 9 grains of hardness. So what the U.S. Department of the Interior did was they came up with a chart to measure out your hardness levels. And what they're saying is that you are at hard water. Okay, now, the Water Quality Association's finding says that hard water ruins plumbing at an estimated $6.7 billion per year here in the United States. Hard water is going to clog and corrode your plumbing, choke your water pressure, and block your drains. Okay, the average home contains thousands of dollars in plumbing, drains, fixtures, and appliances being deteriorated by hard water. It's hard on your faucets, your dishwashers, your shower heads, your water heaters, your washing machines. It's hard on everything that it runs through, including yourselves. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I brought along a little portable filter here. In this filter is carbon and resin. Okay, and what it does is it kind of acts like a magnet does to metal. And it's going to take the impurities, it's going to take that sediment, that hardness out of the water. So when I add the filtered water in, okay, you'll see the water stays a nice blue color because I removed the sediment. Okay, and then when I add just a little bit of tap water back into this, okay, it turns it right back to red. All right, that's just to show you I'm not up here to do magic tricks, guys. Okay, leave the impurities out, it stays blue. Add them back in, it turns it back to red. Okay, now the next test that I'm going to do for you is called the Precipitation Test, and what that means is to separate or to settle. It allows the impurities to fall to the bottom. It's the only scary test I do. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these vials, we'll fill it up with tap water. Want to just rinse it out, make sure nothing's in there from the previous home. Okay, and then fill it back up with tap water. Then we'll hook back up our portable filter here, okay? And again, this just has the carbon and the resin acting like a magnet does to metal, pulling those impurities out of the water. And we'll rinse this one out as well, okay? And then we'll fill it back up. All right, and then we're gonna add some more chemicals. Now, the first chemical that I'm gonna add is Precipitate. This is potassium hydroxide. What this is gonna do is it's gonna bond, or it's going to glue, or it's going to clump the sediment or the rock and debris in the water together. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Then the next chemical that I'm going to add is Precip B. Now this is hydroxyquinoline sulfate. What this is going to do is dye the water as well as help drag the sediment down to the bottom. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? Now, if I agitate these just a little bit here, you should be able to see a difference and the 2, right? Here's your filtered water over here, or my filtered water over here. There's no cloudiness. That's because we removed the sediment, the calcium that's in the water. Over here, that cloudiness, what that is the hardness. That is the rock and debris. And as we let it set, it's going to settle to the bottom, so you can see some of those impurities that are being left behind, okay? Now, this is a picture of the hydrologic cycle, okay? This is 5th grade science. You guys probably already know this. Water rains down, runs off into our rivers, lakes, and streams. The H2O molecules, they evaporate back up into the air, and then it rains back down. You guys knew that, right?
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
The key thing about water, though, water is a universal solvent, okay? So what that means is every little thing that it touches, it takes a little bit of it with it. That's kind of how our trees break down, our leaves break down, manure breaks down. That's how everything breaks down over time. Okay, now would y'all agree this is probably what the world looked like before the Industrial Revolution?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, what was there to pollute our water?
Not much anything. Probably.
Animals.
Dinosaur poop. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot, was there?
No.
Okay, now would y'all agree this is what the world looks like today?
Yes.
Okay, let's look at all these new things we have. We have lead, mercury, oil, and gas byproducts. We have pesticides, insecticides. We have plastic and construction debris. We've got pharmaceuticals. We've got sewage and stormwater drain runoff. Okay, we had 100 million people in the 1920s. We hit 200 million in the 70s, and then we hit 300 million people in 2006. Now, more people, doesn't it mean more of all of this stuff on our earth?
Yes.
And does the water come in contact with all of that?
Yes.
Which means it takes a little bit of all of it and runs it back into our rivers, lakes, and streams. Now here's the question you have to ask yourself. If something that size can slip through the city water treatment right here, what's the chances any of these chemicals can?
A lot.
Okay. And as we keep growing, that means we're going to have more and more of those chemicals back into our water. Okay. Now, do you guys know what the city does to treat your water? Okay. One of the things that they do is they put chlorine in the water. I assume you guys knew that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And the chlorine, what it's there to do, it's there to kill the bacteria. Now, have you guys ever seen anything that looks like this?
I think it's a pool test.
Yeah, it is. You can check your pH levels. You can check your chlorine levels. It's a pool tester. I bought it from the pool store right up the street from our office. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to test your chlorine levels. So I'm going to fill up the yellow side for chlorine. Okay. And we'll rinse it out a couple times. Then we're going to fill it back up. Okay. And then what we're going to do is add OTO, orthotolidine. Okay. This is a chlorine indicator, or this is a chlorine detector. It's going to indicate or detect whether you have any chlorine in the water. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We're going to agitate that just a couple times. Okay. And then we'll come right back to it. Now, our aim is to improve your water. Hague Quality Water does not endorse water pollution articles. All we simply want to do is just improve on nature's impurities. Okay. And this is what the city does to treat your water. Okay. The first thing that they do is they pull in the water. Okay. Then it goes through a chemical treatment process where it's hit with lime. Then it gets hit with alum, and then it gets hit with chlorine. And the chlorine, it's there to kill the bacteria. Then it goes down, it goes through coagulation, flocculation, and sedimentation, and then it goes through sand and gravel filtration. Then the last thing that it's hit with again is the chlorine again. Okay? They use the chlorine down here to kill with, then they use that same killer down here to protect the water as it's traveling through the pipes to your home. In fact, if we look at your chlorine levels, okay, you will see, wouldn't you agree, guys, that we're right there at the ideal level?
Right.
Okay, so we have ideal chlorine levels. Ideal for what?
A swimming pool.
Yeah, so there's good news, Kathy. It's safe to go swimming in your bathtub.
Mm.
Just don't dive, okay?
All right.
Now, my next test, I need some help. So I'm going to have you come on up, sir.
Go ahead,
Okay?
honey.
All right? And what we're going to do is we're going to fill both of these glasses up here. We're going to fill one up with, both of them up with tap water, okay? Fill this other one up, okay? Now, what I want you to do, okay? I want you to take a drink of this. Go ahead, take a drink, okay? I want you to swish around the water in your mouth. Really swish it around, swish, 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 okay? When you think your mouth is nice and cleaned out, go ahead and spit it back into the sink there, okay? Perfect. Now, take a little bit bigger drink. Okay, now really swish that one around. I'm going to dump out this excess water here. Okay, take that glass back. Keep swishing. Hold on. Just keep swishing, right? Just like Dory kept swimming. Okay? Now, go ahead and spit back into the glass. Perfect. I thank you very much, sir, and you can go back and have a seat. Okay? So I'm going to try to make these equal levels here. Okay? Those look pretty good. All right? Then what we're going to do is we're going to take that OTO, that chlorine indicator again, right? And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And if we swirl these around without backsplashing on our hands here, you should be able to start to notice a difference. Okay? This one is our tap water that you didn't drink, right? It's starting to turn yellow, which means it's indicating the chlorine. Over here, though, it's not turning yellow. What happened to the chlorine?
It disappeared.
Yeah, you stole it, sir. Right? Yeah, in a matter of 5 to 10 seconds, not only the chlorine, but maybe any other chemicals that could have been in that water could now have been absorbed into your body. Okay? Hidden dangers of your morning shower. Okay, chlorine is a gas used in all municipal water supplies to disinfect the water. Tests have shown that you absorb more chlorine in a 10-minute shower than you do by drinking 8 glasses of the same water. What happens is a warm shower opens up your pores, causing your skin to act like a sponge. As a result, you not only inhale the vapors, you also absorb them as well into your body. Okay? Now, how important is it for your family to have bottled quality water? Okay, doctors recommend 7 to 10 glasses a day. Water is the single best catalyst for weight loss. Okay, your skin and hair depend on water. Clean water is the fastest way to a healthy body. What good is proper nutrition, exercise, and healthy living without good water, guys?
I mean,
Doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
No, not at all.
Okay, up to 65% of the human body is made up of water. Lungs are 85% water, kidneys are 83%, brain is 83%. The eyes are 95% water, heart is 75% water, and muscles are 75% water. Okay? So if up to 65% of the human body is made up of water, for the best quality of life, wouldn't you want the best quality of water going back into your body?
Sure.
Cool.
Okay? Now, if the city came by today to run a separate water line down your street, and they promised you good Hague Water Max water, and said your water bill wouldn't change, you would do it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Now, our company's job isn't to go out and knock the city, guys. We're not out there saying the city does a bad job. In fact, the city does an incredible job. The problem is 98% of what the cities are going to treat is going to go to commercial and industrial use. Okay. Only about 2% is for residential use or for human use. Okay. Kansas City, Missouri alone today will clean over 250 million gallons of water. That's over 10 million an hour. You guys ever seen one of these water treatment facility plants?
No, but I've smelled them.
Yeah, right. Guys, they're not that big when you look at that picture. You push that much water through at one time through these facilities, do you see where some things are going to slip through?
Yes.
Okay. You guys have heard of 82, right? The home security systems?
Yes.
Right? People buy them to protect their families from intruders. Okay? Instead of getting home security systems, as long as we pay taxes, why can't we just call up the cops and say, hey, put a cop out on our block 24 hours a day, right? One cop, one block throughout the U.S. Crime would go way down, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Why can't we do that?
It's too expensive.
It's not cost efficient, right? It doesn't make sense, okay? So what people started to do, inner cities started to rise and population crime started to rise. They found out there's not enough cops. They took it upon themselves, right? They picked up where the cops left off and got these home security systems. Well, that's what more and more people are starting to do with their water issues. They're starting to see it's not enough, and they're picking up where the city leaves off to protect their family from the different water problems. Okay? Now, I need to borrow a towel. Do you guys have a towel that I can borrow? Can I use this one right there?
Yeah,
okay. All right, I'm going to borrow this towel. Can I borrow this bowl too?
Sure.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick the towel in the bowl here. All right? We're going to bring our hoses back in. And we're going to turn on this filter. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to soak this towel here in the filtered water. And we want to get it nice and soaked up. We'll push it down in there. And remember, in the filter, it's just carbon and resin, right? It's just acting like a magnet does to metal. It's pulling those impurities that are in the water out of the water. So we've got that towel soaking, and I'm going to come back to that in just a few minutes.